Hi, I'm Barbara Wesley, your host of Cibola Treasures. Please stay tuned. This is our first show for 2018, and we have some things that have been happening back in December that we're just now bringing to you. One is Grants Rocks. Dawn Chapman has been the person that decided to bring this concept to Grants, and she and Craig were hosting their event down at the city complex area next to the drive-through with the Route 66. And then we have the Farmhouse Bakery, and there's a ribbon cutting there. This is something that's really been needed in our community, so I hope you'll get out there and support that organization. Chief Salazar with the Milan Police Department is our guest, and then Ron Gonzalez is going to take you on a tour of the new library. I'm so excited to see all of the people that are parked there. For example, today when I went by, I counted over a dozen cars at the library. And sometimes people are there right at 8 o'clock when they open. So that's an exciting thing. We do have something new that is taking place in Grants, and we have a couple that are food critics. And they are going out to all of the restaurants in our area and giving an evaluation just to bring you up to date. One is the friendliness of the staff. How do they greet the customer? Are they attentive to the customer? The next is the food, the quality of the food, and the presentation of the food. How is it served on the plate? And of course, are we getting the best bang for our buck? So they're checking out the price and the value for the food that you get. So this couple is going to be making a play here in our community in an effort to not only let local people know the quality standard of food, but to invite people to come and be in our community as visitors and tourists. Well, that's our program for today, and we'll be right back, so stay tuned.
Happy New Year from us at the First Street Cafe!
Yay! From all the staff at Diamond G, Happy New Year!
Come to the Wow Diner all year round. Happy New Year!
From the staff and management of Trust Pharmacy, Happy New Year!
El Cafecito is looking at 2018 to be a super fantastic year with you in mind. Thank you, Cibola County.
Happy New Year!
My name is Ron Gonzalez. I'm the Grants Public Library Director. Been the director for about 18 months or so. And I can tell you that even in 18 months' time, there's been the peaks and valleys of getting this place ready. My staff will tell you that they had to deal with a grumpy old man at work all the time, but by gosh, this thing is beautiful, and I hope you'll agree as you come in and look around. I'll be your master of ceremonies tonight, so glad you all could make it. I'm so pleased to see you all. To get started here, what I think we'll do is we're going to turn it over to Gunny Garcia's group, the Grants High School, the nationally recognized Marine Corps Junior ROTC program, which will present the colors for us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please remove your caps for the singing of the national anthem by GHS choir student Alma Gonzalez.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent. Wow. Stirs your heart, doesn't it? All right. Please be seated. I now have the pleasure of presenting our city manager, Laura Jaramillo, who I'm so grateful that she took a chance on the kid to take this place forward, and I just feel blessed. And as people say, you found your calling. I certainly have, and I thank Laura for that. Ms. Jaramillo, would you take us to the next?
Definitely going to need that. Good afternoon. We're so pleased to see so many come out to share this special moment with us, this special day. I have a lot of people that we want to recognize. This was truly a team effort with a lot of individuals helping. First off, I wanted to thank the Library Advisory Board, who spent years planning this project. The vision of this project really originated with the Library Board, and they have waited 10 long years to see this come to fruition. And so they're a patient group, they're a hardworking group, and we are very proud to have them a part of our library. We have Marie Connell, Leslie Smith, Dr. Janice Shipley, Mary Savicek, Betsy McDowell, and Cecilia Stafford. And of course, the library staff have spent countless hours trying to pick out colors for the facility, and nothing was harder than picking out colors, but I think we did a pretty good job, and I think we did it pretty quickly. I think sometimes it could take a while. The library staff that have helped with this project are Ron Gonzalez, Nita Ford, Dixie Diaz, Jean Ann Clemens, Peter Klumpenhauer, and the former director, J. Larry King. We are fortunate to have an awesome city council who have backed this project 100% and committed their time and energy to seeing this come through. Our city council who have been involved with this project are Mayor Martin Hicks, Michael Lewis, Cindy Reynolds, Manuel Vasquez, Rick Lucero, and the former councilors Ruben Sandoval and Edwin Dickens. Some of you may not realize, but this facility was gifted to the City of Grants. It was gifted from the Cibola Foundation, and I'd like for those individuals, we have a few of those board members here, would you please raise your hand? Cibola Foundation. The Cibola Foundation is a dedicated board of directors that really works hard to see economic growth and development in our community and see how they can prosper our endeavors. They consist of Tony Esparza, Terry Fletcher, Clemente Sanchez, and Ken Martinez. Someone who was quite instrumental was Felicia Casadas, who is the former president of NMSU Grants. And Felicia believed in this project, and she worked really hard with our advisory board to help write a grant to get 200 and some thousand for the design, for the planning and design. And so we'd like to thank Felicia Casadas. The application they submitted was to BNSF Railroad, and the foundation we would like to thank as they gave us the money for the planning and design. So we thank them. For several years, our legislators, Ken Martinez, Clemente Sanchez, Lee Alcon, and Harry Garcia, worked really hard to advocate for funding for this facility. And I know they've been very anxious to see it up and running as they put their honor on the line to try to obtain funding at the state. And so I'm sure they're very proud to see this come to life. Thank you. We thank the Grand Cibola County Chamber of Commerce. They're here today. We have Tammy Legler and several board members, but thank you. They've set up our ribbon cutting and have been very supportive through the planning process. We have several staff members outside the library staff that have helped with marketing, the grand opening and planning, preparing food. We had Brittany Birds, Chris Roybal, Michelle Mays, Cindy Arosa, and Tina Jaramillo. Thank you. We'd like to thank Bob Wetton, our IT director. Bob has all the computers up and running, and about a week ago, Bob sent me an email and said that CenturyLink said they weren't going to have the internet or the phones up and ready, and it was going to take a while, and I was kind of like, what? And so by that afternoon, when I came over here, I don't know what Bob told them, but by that afternoon, they had the internet running. By that afternoon, and I came by and saw their trucks out here, so thank you, Bob. And of course, we'd like to thank Facility Build. They are the construction company that facilitated this whole project. Unfortunately, Cameron couldn't be here. Cameron is a young man that I met my first year as a city manager, and he kept stopping by my office when he passed through town, and he basically asked me, take a chance on us. He said, we're a small construction firm and we provide quality services, take a chance on us. And so I finally, about the 4th time he stopped by, I'm like, you know, we've got a library project, how about that? And so I'd like for the people from Facility Build, we have Rainier here, Carlos Sanchez, Brian Benham, and Kaylin Kilcup are here today. Thank you. The furnishing company that helped us out was School Furnishings Unlimited, Mike Treadwell, and I don't think he's here this afternoon, but I'll tell you, he spent a lot of time working with us to map out what we needed and make recommendations. And I think when we ordered the furniture, we were kind of going out on a limb, and I said, we're either going to love it or we're going to hate it, but we absolutely love it. So they really did a good job. Our street department, our maintenance department, and our custodial staff spent countless hours coming over. I was emailing them at 4:30 in the morning and saying, we need this and that, and when I'd get here by 8:30, they'd have it ready, and so they were very helpful. Thank you. And then we have Les Gaines and Donald Jaramillo. Les is our assistant city manager and Donald our projects coordinator, and they were very instrumental in seeing this through. Thank you. And last, I'd like to thank Jerry Lee for volunteering to come and play music this evening as you tour the building. Thank you, Jerry.
Okay, very good. Now, the next person you're going to hear from gave me a bit of a scare yesterday. You might know that there was a little contest related to our mayor. He cleaned up pretty nicely, except when he walked in the library yesterday, I was a little startled because I hadn't seen him in a while. But I said to him, you clean up pretty well, and he certainly does. And as an aside here, I'm grateful to Mayor Hicks, who will speak to you next. He too felt the confidence in me to come forward and take this over, and I can't thank him enough for that. Mayor Hicks.
I still get a little nervous doing this. You'd think after 12 years I'd be used to this. 12 years ago, the public had enough confidence in me to make me the counselor of District Number 2. 12 years ago, I started pushing for this library. I couldn't get no traction with anybody in the council. And therefore, I want to say thank you to the public for having the confidence in me to vote me and put me in here so that we could do this. And what's really nice about this project, guys, is the minute you step through that door right there, it's paid for. There's no bonds. You're not paying for this building no more. It's done. Okay? It's really a great asset for all you young people that are in here. That's what this building is about. Okay? It's to give you a place to go. It's to give you something to do, a place to learn. That's why we tried to put it real close to the high school. Okay? I mean, I'll bet you, guys, with this thing opening up, we got the RFP out for the coffee shop. We're hoping somebody takes that soon and opens it up. And I'll bet you as the influx starts coming down here, because all those people that are uptown right now, up by the old county buildings and stuff, are going to come down here. And I'll bet you that building right across the street opens up another sandwich shop or something pretty soon. And it's all part of economic development. It's all part of making our town a better place to be and a better place to live. So on that note, Laura thanked everybody but herself, so let me thank Laura. Okay. And most importantly at all, I mean, over everything here, let me thank my Lord God in heaven and His Son, Jesus Christ. Okay. Without Him, I ain't nothing. I'm going to read a quick little letter from Tony Esparza, okay? He couldn't be here today. Dear Mayor Hicks, thank you for inviting me to participate in the dedication of the Grants Public Library. I regret that I will be out of town. Cibola Foundation will have representatives at the dedication. Congratulations to you and the Grant City Council for ensuring the completion of this project. The new library is a great asset to our community and will improve the quality of life within our community. It will serve as a great resource for our younger generations. The new library will also help promote economic development. I look forward to working with the city in the completion of the build out of the remainder of the building. And for those of you that don't know what that is this other side of the building is still open. Okay, and we're looking to do something there. We don't know what it's going to be, if it's going to be like an incubator for people to start a job and then move out. We're looking at several different things there, and we'll come up with something between the foundation and the city that's going to work to benefit this town, just like this building benefited this town today. And then he goes on to say, again, congratulations. So congratulations to every one of you out there, because without you, we wouldn't have done this today. Thank you for having the confidence in me and putting me here and allowing me to prove my worth to you. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving right along here, we would like next to invite Senator Clemente Sanchez up to say a few words. Please give a round of applause for Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you and good afternoon to everyone. It's a great crowd. I think this is the largest after hours that I've seen, but and it's great to see the our young children, young men and women here, because education is the key. Education will move you up. So I always encourage my own grandkids, to read, because that will get you up. That will move you up in life. Start off with reading the newspaper every day. That's how I started, reading the newspaper every day. And I think it's so important to be able to read. If anyone plans on, young people plan on going to law school, you better read, because you have to write. So this is a good, beautiful place here that we have. A lot of people worked on this, as the mayor said. I think that was the mayor that was up here. It looks like the mayor that I've known for the last few years. But anyway, a lot of people worked very hard on this. And as City Manager Laura Millay said, it started off with a vision, and we had Dr. Felicia Casales, who was the president of NMSU Grants here, and she was a visionary, and she saw a vision for this place and worked with the board. But there's another person that wasn't mentioned that was involved in this whole thing. They mentioned that Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad provided a grant to the city, to us here, to do planning and design for this place. And that came about by my predecessor, Senator David Uhlberg. He's the one that got with Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad and asked them about their grant program, and then got Felicia to write the grant. So we need to give some credit, so we could give credit to former Senator David Uhlberg for actually going out and making that connection. There's, as I'm a member of the Cibola Foundation, Terry Fletcher, where are you? Terry Fletcher, he's back in the back over there. He's one of our members. Kenny Martinez, former Representative Kenny Martinez. And we also had some former members that were instrumental in getting this building that was donated to the foundation and working on that were members of the foundation. And that were Bud Gunderson and G.D. Ramsey. So they're gone, they're no longer with us, but they were very big in the Cibola Foundation and working hard to make this also happen. So let's give them and their families And another person who was very dear to me that was involved with the foundation, not as a member, but anytime we went to him and asked him for funding from the state for either this project or the new county building, which all of us worked on, and getting capital outlay for that, and that's former Senator Joseph Fidel, because he was very important. So with that, again, I want to thank everyone that was involved. It doesn't take just one person to do this. You have to all work together. There were some stumbling blocks in between there that and something that we had to work out between the foundation and the city. But when you have collaboration and working together, you can get it done.
Get it done.
And I think, and this building here really changed the optics of this area. As the mayor alluded to, hopefully we'll have some more economic development and businesses that come into the area and the surrounding area. The same way with up there on Roosevelt and the county building. You know, we had some eyesores here. And by working together and getting these things done, those eyesores look a heck of a lot better now, don't they? So we need to continue to do that. We also need to continue and work with Main Street in our Main Street and making sure that we work on bringing enterprise, bringing business down into that area to improve our economy and our optics of that area. Because we have a lot of young children here, young men and women here from the high school level up. And, you know, that's our biggest asset and most important asset that we have is our human capital. And we can't lose them to other states, to out of town, because rural America, rural New Mexico needs to stay in place because that's what helps our economy go and move forward. So we need to make sure that we get our human capital. I'm involved in economic development. We have our executive director, Aline Yarborough, back here, which we sit on the board also. If you could raise your hand. She's involved in economic development. And you know, when we're out there as legislators, we're out there as people in the community, leaders in the community, businesses, when we try to recruit businesses or keep businesses here, the biggest issue that a lot of businesses have out there, and they ask us, do you have the workforce? And do you have the educated workforce? That does not mean a 4-year degree. We need people in the trades area. That's why we have a college over here that's so important to our community. And we need to make sure that we have that, we get students there, because we need a workforce trained in the state of New Mexico, in Cibola County, in Grants, and our surrounding areas in order to attract business. Because as an employer, as president of Bank of New Mexico, our most important asset there is not the money that's out there, but our human capital, our employees that we have. And I think that's the most important thing for any business, but it all comes down to education and knowledge. And that doesn't mean a 4-year degree. That could mean any other degree or just knowledge, hands-on. But this is very important behind me. Our young people, we need to read and read. I'm constantly reading. And I came from a family that was large, didn't have a whole lot, but we pulled ourselves up, read, and moved up, got education, and was very happy to come back home to work in my community. I'm very proud of my community. I'm proud of all these people. I'm proud of this group that's here. It's amazing what we have here. And I'm very proud and thankful for everyone that worked on this. But most importantly, I'm thankful to all of you. Thank you and have a good evening.
Okay, now for the presentation of a scholarship award, we have Cameron Kilcup from Facility Build. Oh, I'm sorry, Kaylin Kilcup, excuse me.
Okay, I'll turn it for you. Hi guys, I'm Kaylin with Facility Build. Rainier is here, she mentioned, and Carlos, the designer, who helped finish the design for this place. And then Brian Benham, raise your hand. This is the superintendent who is here every single day on the construction project. This is such an exciting project. We love grants. As the senator alluded to, have you guys ever read the book Strength Finders? I don't know if you have, but the premise of the book is that stop trying to take what you're worst at and become mediocre, and instead take what you're best at and become excellent. And if you do that, you can do anything. And he mentioned, you know, your human capital here, your community, and your collaboration. I mean, these are huge, huge strengths, and this is represented that you can do anything with that. And I just have to, as an observer from Albuquerque view, you guys are very forward thinking. This was a progressive process We did design build method, took a chance on many things, and even just including a maker space, including activating the space, making it a layered space for many uses. So forward thinking, and that is what's going to take this city. You guys have so much potential. Let's keep it going. We're so excited to be partners. Thank you very, very much. I hope that as you walk through this space, all of you kind of hold in your hearts and your minds the intention for this space. This space is incredible. This can be a hub for the city in so many ways, where people connect and come and learn and grow and build this city. It's really, really exciting. So thank you so much for being partners on it. And we're so excited, and we really wanted to present a scholarship. And because this place is based on learning, we really wanted to take a grants community member and support them a little bit in their education. And so we did an essay contest, and Laura organized a committee to go through the essays, and the winner was Karishma Patel. If you can come up here. So Karishma, you guys all know her. She's amazing, and she's in UNM right now, and she is pursuing a medical degree, right, eventually, in kind of the steps of her father. And so we're so excited. Karishma, here is this $1,500 scholarship. Yes. She doesn't want to say anything, but you guys all know her, so congratulate her. And we're so excited. Please call us with anything facility build. We're really happy. So congratulations to all of you who made this happen. Such a huge effort. And yeah, let's go see this thing.
Can you guys for a picture?
Oh yeah.
Now it's time to turn it over to Laura Jaramillo again for the blessing.
Before we forget, we have a table kind of back towards the refreshments for you to sign for door prizes. So after we do the blessing and the ribbon cutting, then we'll start calling for door prizes. If you're in the other half of the building and don't hear, stop by just to check and see if your name was drawn. So I wanted to do a short blessing. Today, as we celebrate the opening of the new Grants Public Library, we come together to acknowledge the many individuals and organizations who contributed to the development of a facility that we can all be very proud of. Today marks the outcome of an idea that began approximately 10 years ago. We can all agree that it took many years of dreaming, planning, and finally building. May this only be the beginning of great things that will come and be facilitated from within these walls. Let this beautiful facility always remind us that there is hope. Hope for a better future, hope that dreams can and do come true, hope that our community, the City of Grants and Cibola County, will grow and prosper. Let this day be the beginning of a new chapter for the City of Grants and the citizens we serve. May this new facility be a blessing to our community, to our families, and to our children. May all that pass through these doors be inspired, find joy, peace, and a sense of accomplishment. May each person leave a little happier, wiser, and content. May all who visit be encouraged and inspired to continue to dream big. Okay, now we'll do the ribbon cutting. Okay, any of the library staff, if you're in here, come on up. Nita. Nita's a great color picker for furniture. She has an eye for color. Is Dixie? Come on up.
Come on over here, guys. Come on, slide in. Slide in here. Sure? I'm standing back here and smile. That's all I want to see. Everyone stand back here and smile, guys.
All right. 2, 3. Okay. Last words here, and then we'll turn you loose. I do want to, as my staff is walking down, I can't thank them enough. You know, I'm the benefit. I get to shake people's hands and say, oh, it looks great, but without my staff, Dixie and Nita and Jean Ann and Peter, this would not have happened. That's a guarantee. So I want to thank them so much. Also, there's my wife, Justine, who's in the corner here. She had to deal with me as well for the last couple of months, so she deserves combat pay or something. My son, Stone, is around. My daughter, Alma, sang for you earlier, so thank you for allowing that. We're going to let you get inside, and I just want to tell you real quickly, so that we can enjoy the night with you and answer your questions. We're not necessarily open for business today, but we will answer any questions you have. We'll show you the maker space. It's brand new. It's something new to the library. We've got all kinds of new technology and things to talk to you about, so please do ask us questions. We can take you on tours if you'd like, or you can just simply wander around. We are still a library, so we do check out books, and we have magazines and newspapers. But this is just the beginning, people. This is just the beginning. We've got so much more to share with you as the years go on. We just ask you to stay along with us for the ride, and we hope you enjoy it, all right?
Good afternoon. My name is Ron Gonzalez. I am the director of the new Grants Public Library, which will soon be open for the whole community to enjoy. Today, you get a special look, behind the scenes look, at how this library is shaping up. We're not quite ready with everything, but what you'll be able to see in that case is a sort of before and after. Before it's totally done, and after it's totally done, and you'll really be able to see it pop. With all libraries, some things will be a mainstay of that library, including things like magazines, newspapers, and of course books. So that is something that has not changed. We will offer those things and continue to offer those things. Libraries of today also offer various types of technology, including computers. We have added to our number of computers, and we have these nice brackets that allow for ease of use. You can pull the screen closer to you, adjust it, push it back if necessary. And with good, high-quality internet, you can watch videos, listen to music, do your homework. Assistant Librarian Nita Ford is one of our key members of the team that helps us get all the technology ready for the public's use every day. Maintenance of bookshelves is something that will never change. Here, Jean Ann Clemens, one of my other assistants, is busy getting the shelves ready for our grand opening. A feature that is soon to come to the library is a custom-built toy railroad set, which will feature various buildings from the history of Cibola County. We're also very proud to offer the community the use of a brand new, and I think big enough, conference room table to use. So whether you're in the Boy Scouts or with the Rotary Club, this room is for you to enjoy. Today's libraries can get a little noisy at times as they're very busy with people coming and going. Our brand new reading room offers a person that extra bit of quiet. If they need to study, check email, write a letter, gives them that extra little bit of quiet they need. We also spend a lot of time choosing some interesting colors and seating choices for our patrons. These chairs here will allow a patron to use this rotating arm for their tablet, for their book, and it's super comfortable. You may not want to leave this library after sitting in these. I want to introduce you to another staff member of mine, Peter Klumpenhauer. He and I together and the rest of the staff are getting together what we think is one of the most exciting rooms in this library. We call it a maker space because it would literally be a space where we will make Legos, robots, 3D prints, you name it. This is the room for those kinds of projects, and we can't wait to turn this room loose to the kids. Something exciting and new that we're very excited about are these crayon kiosks for the kids. My assistant Dixie Diaz and I are programming these iPads that will allow children to play games. They can read stories on here, and overall gives them another opportunity for learning and discovery. This might actually be your first stop when you get to the library. It's our new circulation desk. This is a place where you can find information about books and where to find them, know where to get to the computers, and any questions that you have are answered right here. Welcome to my office. One of the things we haven't shown you today is the brand new coffee shop that adjoins the library here in the building. It's not quite ready for anyone to see yet. We'll show you that in the future. But in the meantime, just keep in your mind how one day you'll be able to come here, drink a hot cup of joe, and read your favorite book or magazine. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your very early tour of the new Grants Public Library. Just want to remind you that our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Our hours may change through the holidays, so do call us or find us online to make sure that you don't miss out on us and this great new Grants Public Library.
Happy New Year from us to the First Street Cafe.
Yay! From all the staff at Diamond G, Happy New Year.
Come to the Wow Diner all year round. Happy New Year.
From the staff and management of Trust Pharmacy, Happy New Year.
El Cafecito is looking at 2018 to be a super fantastic year with you in mind. Thank you, Cibola County.
Happy New Year!
Hi, I'm Craig Chapman from the Grants Rock team. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming out on this cold morning to dedicate the Rock Garden in Grants, New Mexico. The reason we're here is, well, we want to give a special thanks to the Chamber of Commerce, the City of Grants, Team 66. We want to give a special thanks to all the people that helped us get this going. And anyway, I want to let you know that as of this morning, we have 1,467 members. It's been since August 2nd, so this is really taken off. The reason we're starting this rock garden is to help people coming through the community, coming through Grants, stop and pick up a rock, and enjoy it. Take it back to their community, start a community going on in their community and stuff like that. And basically, we're just trying to promote Grants and let the kids of Grants have a lot of fun, enjoy hiding rocks, finding rocks with their grandparents, with their parents, getting the families back together again instead of playing on these computers all the time. So anyway, it's just to spread kindness is all it is. And so we appreciate you all being here, and please stay hiding rocks.
And on three, we'll pull 1, 2, 3. You're supposed to chomp down. He never was good.
Happy New Year from us to the First Street Cafe.
Yay! From all the staff at Diamond G, Happy New Year.
Come to the Wow Diner all year round. Happy New Year.
From the staff and management of Trust Pharmacy, Happy New Year.
El Cafecito is looking at 2018 to be a super fantastic year with you in mind. Thank you, Cibola County.
Happy New Year!
Welcome to this segment of Cibola Treasures. In our studio today is someone that we have never introduced to the public. And I want to welcome Chief Pat Salazar with the Milan Police Department.
Yeah, thank you.
To Cibola Treasures. And first of all, let's do a little bit of history if we can. Where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Grants, San Rafael actually. All my life I lived here and went to school here. And soon after school I started working in the jail.
Okay.
When I was 18 years old.
Okay.
From there on, I got hired on with Milan Police Department back in 1997, and I've been in law enforcement ever since.
Okay. So that's over 20 years, isn't it? Right.
About 22, 23 years, yeah.
Okay, very good. And what drew you to the police department?
So when I was 6 years old, I was in Albuquerque. We were eating at a restaurant on Central Avenue. I was with my parents. There was a guy in the middle of the street that was directing traffic. He was not all there because there's some mental impairments going on with him, and he was causing accidents. What he was doing, trying to direct traffic in the middle of the roadway. Anyway, I seen an APD officer pull up, turn his lights on, handcuff the guy, and the guy didn't want to get into his patrol unit. And I remember the APD officer kind of picking him up, opened the door, and just threw him in the car. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Just like, wow, just went there, handled, took care of everything, and traffic's flowing again. And the officer left, and that was exciting for me. Later on, I started seeing more officers here at Grants, running up the lights and siren. At 6 years of age, I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is my calling. I love it. So I kept my goal, and I got hired on back in '97 with Alfonso Martinez.
Okay.
As a chief there.
Okay, very good. Now, how long have you been the chief of police in Milan?
Going on almost a year now.
Okay, so it's been a short time.
Yeah.
But you've been with the Milan Police Department for over 20 years. So.
Well, actually, I've only been with Milan PD for about 6 years now. So I started with Milan PD, but I left to the Gallup area.
Okay.
If it wasn't for the Gallup area, I probably wouldn't be in the position that I am right now. I learned a lot from Gallup. Gallup is a very difficult environment to work at. You see everything and you handle everything there. So I tell a lot of the officers that I hired from Gallup, if you can work in Gallup, you can work anywhere in the world probably, because Gallup is it's a very different place, and you really got to be wanting the job and love the job to be a cop if you want to be a cop, because Gallup will teach you different things.
Right. So, as chief of police, you've been there not quite a year, you said. So what are the challenges of a village? We look at Milan as being a small little community, but there's some real challenges that even big cities face that you face in Milan.
Yes, we have everything. I mean, just because we're a small village doesn't mean that we're secluded to all the big city crime. We get everything from child abuse, sexual assaults. We get burglaries, of course. And the biggest thing that we have right now is narcotics. We have a lot of drug use and drug sales in the village of Milan and just in general Cibola County.
Right. And that is a really serious problem, not only nationwide, but when you look at a small village, what kind of an impact is this making on the village?
Well, prior to me coming here, there was hardly any narcotic enforcement that was going on. When I was in McKinley County, I ran the narcotics task force in McKinley County, and we came down here a few times to give Sheriff Mays a hand at a lot of the cases that he had, and that's how we started working together. So when I was offered the position of chief of police, I got together with Tony and Sheriff Mays and Chief Vigil, and we got together and told, you know what, we need to start fighting this drug problem we got here in our community. And we teamed up, and we started doing a pretty good impact on the community. Our search warrants have been increasing to about 3 to 4 a month. I think we've done about 17 search warrants since March, which is pretty good. We're excited about that, and we're keeping the pace going. The momentum is still, full force.
Okay. Now, what about our youngsters? This has really been a concern, and you and I have spoken about this, but our youngsters are being exposed to drugs, and I don't know what the solution is. I know that we have people growing marijuana in their backyards. We've got a forest here where probably people are growing marijuana in the forest. And then we have people bringing stuff into our community. But my biggest concern is our youngsters, and I don't know what we can do to tackle that problem.
A lot of it has to do with education. And what I see the lack of in the school system now is education awareness. There's no DARE programs in the schools no more. There's no great, there's none of that stuff that's happening in the schools anymore. and it really comes down to funding, and it's sad to say that. But we you know, as far as the law enforcement, we try and go into the schools and we try and meet with children and talk to them, educate them. We do, I guess we could say it's like a assembly every now and then, and we'll get in there and we'll talk to children about drugs. And I'll tell you a lot of things that these kids, they learn this stuff from home. Sometimes you have good leaders and sometimes you don't. And it starts from the home. But then again, I say too, you know, I don't care how you're raised or who raised you. It's the road you're going to choose. If you're going to want to be in the nice, pretty path and take that nice road that has no bumps and no potholes, and you can see the lines, you can see a distance, you know where you're going, you're going to take that road. And there's some people that want to choose that other road that, you know what, I don't know exactly where I'm going to go. There's some speed bumps there, and there's some potholes, and, you know, wherever it takes me, that's where I'm going to land at. And it's unfortunate that a lot of the kids don't have goals in their lives. They don't know what they want to do. You know, they have no idea, and they're kind of lost. And that's what I see when I go to talk to a lot of these children. Is I ask them, you know, do you guys have goals in your life? I have a lot of children.
They don't even know what that means.
Some of them don't. Yeah. You know, I had a goal at 6 years of age. I know I wanted to become a cop. That was my goal, was to become a police officer. And now, you know, I get a few children that raise their hands and you know, they know where they want to go. And you can see the kids up there that are, you know, don't really care, and they're out there just to, you know, kind of, you know, what can I do to sabotage or hurt their goals and things like that. And I see that happening. You know, I know there's a lot of issues with bullying going on right now. That takes a lot of you know, courage for someone to stand up to a bully, you know, and there's no real clear direction how to do this and who approach it and how to do it. And it's scary because, you know, some of these kids that are getting bullied, you know, they take things out on themselves. Or they'll turn around and take it out on someone else. But that happens.
Right. Well, it sounds like I've got an interruption. I didn't take my cell phone and put it back in my office, so it'll go off in just a minute or so.
Okay.
But that is, and so you have these pep rallies at the schools, and have you been able to get the sheriff's department and the city police department to go in and do these rallies with you yet?
We haven't. I know Chief will do his, and Sheriff Mays and ourselves, but we haven't got one that we can actually go to every school and do one. There's a lot of restrictions with the schools, and it's time crunched, so it's really hard for us to get in there.
Okay.
And we're trying to work that. The superintendent's trying to work with us, and eventually, I'm sure we'll be in there more and more.
Okay. All right. So, as a small village, we talked about some of the challenges that you face day to day, but what about, do you have enough officers in the village?
You know, I don't. Milan right now currently has 8 officers. That's including myself. And sometimes we need about, you know, 4 officers during the day because we become overwhelmed with a lot of the calls. Some calls are pending. Sometimes they'll be pending for 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what's going on. I'm lucky that we have the state police and the sheriff's office there that can give us a hand when we do get tied up. But for our village to function with, you know, adequate law enforcement personnel, we need at least about 11 to 12 officers there, and that would help us. And, you know, people takes leave, they have sick days, training. You know, when this stuff comes up, you know, we're forced to create overtime, or we're forced to have one officer work alone in the streets, and that's something that I do not like. I don't like compromising safety for anything.
Right.
So yeah, definitely we need more staffing in the village of Milan. Currently, we do have 8, which is probably fully staffed now, and it hasn't been like that since I don't know how long.
Okay. Well, we're almost out of time, but what about the interstate traffic? What does that do for you? The you know, we've got Petro, and we've got Love's is building on, and we've got a new restaurant that went in Milan, and they bring in truckers too. So what is that a challenge at all for you?
Well, you know, it's a good thing because it brings up our gross sales receipts in the village. So definitely any business that we got there is a plus for us. But do we bring in the negative from the interstate? We sure do. One of my officers, Mr. Noriega, did arrest a subject with 4 pounds of methamphetamine that was gassing up there at the Petro, and he came off the interstate. So a lot of our drugs are coming, and you know, they're making a little pit stop there in the village too. So we generate all the negative from the interstate too, as well as the positive.
Right. Okay. Well, in closing, what would you like to tell the audience about you and about the village and your department?
Well, we are a strong department right now. We're someone to be reckoned with, I'll tell you. If you have any issues or any problems or concerns, you can contact the Village of Milan Police Department. We'll definitely address your issues and concerns, along with the narcotics problem that we have in the community. No matter if you call the Village of Milan, Grants PD, or the Sheriff's Office, we're all teamed up together, and we'll definitely look into your concerns, and you know, if there's reason, we'll take action on those concerns.
Okay. I want to thank you for joining us today and for the hard work that you're doing, the great work you're doing in the village. And we've got such a wonderful community, you know, in Cibola County as a whole, and your contribution to that is really appreciated.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You're welcome. And we thank you for tuning in to this segment of Cibola Treasures.
All right, let me go on over here.
Are you ready? Okay, ready.
Good job.
Happy New Year from us at the First Street Cafe.
Yay! From all the staff at Diamond G, Happy New Year.
Come to the Wow Diner all year round. Happy New Year.
From the staff and management of Trust Pharmacy, Happy New Year.
El Cafecito is looking at 2018 to be a super fantastic year with you in mind. Thank you, Cibola County.
Happy New Year!
If you have a special interest or something that you would like us to focus on, you need to give us a call. Our email address is studio@sevencitiesproductions.com, or you can call us at 505-285-4533. We've got an exciting year happening here in Grants, and we are glad to be part of it. Most of all, we are so happy that you have joined us in 2017. Oh, I should mention, we have our Heroes of 2017 that's being featured on our program now. And so we have a list of those heroes that have just done things in our community that go beyond what most people would consider 100%. These people have given their hearts to our community, so we want to recognize them. So check us out on our channel. Thank you again for tuning in to this edition of Cibola Treasures.